So like some kind of like few behavioral changes that I'll just make you aware of. That have you seen, means right now it's a kind of like rare scenario when some kind of car comes and stops and takes a halt and asks you for kind of like he's a lost and he want to ask you like, I want to go to some particular destination, can you guide me? Now in few scenarios you will come across, but from here onwards it will not be. Now you have come across like very rarely that kids coming to your doorplace and they are saying that they are apologizing that we have broken your window glasses. Why? Because they are not playing the physical games, but they are now engaged in a completely different world. That is, they are playing with Candy Crush and on mobile, on tabs or something like that. There will be a kind of like rare scene where you will come across that some kind of like salesperson knocking the door and actually presenting some kind of like product. So why it is changing, and soon after it is going to change. So can you? So what happens is that right now, as it is explained in that mirror, that objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. The same thing with the technology. Now what happens is, whenever we talk about like this is a kind of like paradigm shift, the very important thing is that the technology amongst means that we are working on or we are seeing, there is a huge and paradigm shift. We are not noticing it, and subconsciously we are getting adjusted to that particular technology. Now if I ask you how many objects or how many gadgets you have that is connected to your internet, you will probably say 5 or 6. If I asked you the same question 10 years back, a decade back, what would have been your answer? It will be 1 or 2. Something like you are connected with your PC or tab that is connected to your internet. Now your PC, tab, smartphone, smart TV, and your printer is also connected to internet. You are actually taking the printer from somewhere, say remote area, and even your refrigerator is becoming smart. And now there is a concept called as smart houses also, where whenever you will be coming inside, it will get adjusted to your temperature, your liking, and so many other things. Now world is already geared up for these particular things. You may or may not notice that world is blanketed with billions of, will be in the soon future, in 5 to 10 years, it will be blanketed with billions of sensors that will be observing you and uploading your data, your interaction, whatever the interaction that you do with any kind of gadgets, something like your smartphone, smart TV, and it will be uploading that information to some like cloud. And then the whole world will be engaged in what is your liking, what is your reality, what you would like to have in the next moment. So that will get adjusted according to your scenario. And believe me, right now, world is already geared up for that thing. You know that now how this particular connection happens. Whenever you actually get a gadget, whenever, suppose if it is smart gadget, your smartphone, that has got some kind of like unique identification, okay? And then it gets connected to clouds, and then once again, somewhere, some kind of like smart processing happens, and then it comes back to you. Now this, now you would say that there will be some kind of like limitations for all these things, that how many objects can I connect? So by the year of say 2025, it might be the total population will be 7.6 billion. But now just take your smartphone and check that your IP address or your computer address. What happens is that it has shifted from IPv to IPv4 to IPv6. Now what does it mean? Now IPv6 is an address which is actually expanded its limit, and it can actually accommodate billions of objects for you. So world has already geared up for that thing. So any unique object or any unique your smart gadget will be identified. In fact, IPv6 has got capability that it can identify 2^80 objects in this world. So what does it mean? 2^80. I cannot actually even utter that word. Means what is that? That means there are 25-digit word. That's such a huge, and it is that fast. It is fast as your IPv4 address. So world has already geared up for that particular thing, and you are not noticing it. Now how it is going to change? So that means you will be roaming around, and right now also you are roaming around in between the huge grid of the sensors that already tracking you and sensing you. Whenever you go to ATM or say any object you are trying to interact on your phone, it actually means whenever you log on to LinkedIn, the sites are actually gives you like your friends lists. So it knows your liking, your favorites, in which clan you belong to, if you are playing Clash of Clans. So there are lots of other things that are getting associated and you are not noticing it. Now how it is relevant to me? That's the question that we will be addressing it. So as of now, we are already into a physical world. So this physical world we are already immersed in, and we don't know that soon, like as I have started mentioning it, there is a shift of the human behavior. As we are making our own tools, that tools started shaping to us. This is called as an ontological design. What does it mean? Means the car was invented, the wheel was invented, and then car has changed the total scenario of the world. So similarly, when we are using or we are actually inventing a different world, different technologies in digital realm, that is started actually shaping us. And soon after, means we will be seeing that how the technology is shifting and how to gear up for that particular thing. So our topic is the immersive 3D experiences using Unity 3D. Now these three keywords has got some kind of like very in-depth meaning to it. Now what does it mean by immersive? Right now I am immersed in a physical world. Now immersive means the deeply involve one's senses and may create an altered mental state. So as whenever you see actually that whenever you see any kind of like movie for say 3 hours, you get into that particular mental state, but soon after you come out. In that 3D movie also, there are hardly any sequences that you totally feel like that some object comes out of that screen and touches you. So that is only the fraction of second, and that to enjoy that particular moment, you go and watch this movie. So there are only the fractions of seconds where some things, some objects which are not real, which are imaginary, that comes and touches you and totally shakes all your belief and takes you along with you. So this kind of like immersion will go on increasing day by day. So now let's see how it is already started working on it. So this was kind of like immersive, the concept immersion. Now what kind of 3D experiences? I guess all of you are quite well conversant with the 3D technology, like moving, 3D modeling, texturing, animation, and all those things. So I don't have to explain too much about like 3D. Okay, so it's self-explanatory. So by observing, encountering, or undergoing of the things as they occur in your course of life. So this is a kind of like we are talking about now experience. Now what is experience? Whenever you see, you believe, start believing it. But believing is actually, somebody says that belief is blind and experience is truth. That means whatever, suppose somebody tells you that it is an awesome thing, but still you can't believe it unless and until you experience it. And whenever you are experiencing it, you are actually, all your 5 senses, they give you, start responding you. You simply, your hair on your back of spine, that raises, and that gives you a kind of like some kind of like emotional feedback that yes, you are already having that particular experience. So now when we talk about Unity, Unity is a kind of like game engine that we'll be using. Why game engine Unity? That I will explain it in a few moments. Can we go to the next slide?